Welcome back here today on the beautiful campus of Florida Panhandle Technical College. Our topic today, not quite so lighthearted as some. Today our guest is Melisa Reddick from Chipola Healthy Start. And that is because we're talking about perinatal and postnatal depression. Not great subjects to talk about, not uplifting, but certainly the message uplifting, because if you yourself or know somebody who is experiencing some of these situations, Chipola Healthy Start, among other organizations, are there to help you. When we come back, Melissa's going to explain about how they can help you if you're experiencing some of this perinatal or postnatal depression. Again, a very common situation, but one that can be easily at least helped to some extent by Melisa and her organization. When we come back, we're going to talk about all that and more, and we will be right back. Welcome back. As mentioned, our guest today is Melisa Reddick from Chipola Healthy Start. As I mentioned in the introduction, Melisa, we're talking about depression, never an uplifting subject, but certainly if you or someone you know is experiencing some of that, this is going to be an uplifting show because just exactly as I said, it's going to give you some opportunities to get help. Before we go into that, let's talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts. Subsequent to your last visit, we had several emails saying, you know, you never really talked about what is Chipola Healthy Start. People want to know what the overall umbrella of your organization is. So let's start there. What is Chipola Healthy Start?
What we are is a coalition, which is tasked with funding and overseeing 5 Healthy Start programs in each of our 5 counties, and they are here in Holmes, Washington, Calhoun, Liberty, and Jackson. Okay.
So basically the area that makes up the bulk of the 14th Judicial Circuit. You don't go into Bay, Gulf, or Liberty counties, but you do the others. Okay.
Right. And what we're tasked with doing, again, with overseeing those counties, Healthy Start was implemented 25 years ago by Governor Childs and his wife to make sure every woman got prenatal care when she needed it, which is from the beginning of her pregnancy all the way to the end and into recovery, what we call postpartum period.
Right.
And to make sure every baby had that best healthy start possible in life. Making sure mom and dad knew how to parent, what milestones were, what to look out for, how to help baby grow, for warning signs, to make sure baby is doing everything he or she should be doing, and if not, to get them to the right medical help they might need. Or if it's a developmental problem, to refer them onto those services.
So within those counties that you mentioned, do you have an actual office in each of those counties?
Yes, we do. There's a Healthy Start office located in each and every county in Florida. Right here in Washington County, it'll be here in Chipley at the Health Department. At Holmes County, it'll be in the Health Department in Bonifay. Also, Calhoun, Liberty, they'll be at the health departments there. And in Jackson County, they're located at the Plaza del Rio on Penn Avenue in Marianna.
Yeah. So you have within the state coalitions under which a group of counties will exist, and that sort of gives it a little bit easier to have oversight over those larger organizations under which you have one in each county. So every county in Florida, all 67, have a Healthy Start component?
Yes, they do.
So if you, depending on the county you live in, that's the organization to whom you would go for help.
For anything baby, anything maternal child health, that is what Healthy Start is here to do. We're there to answer questions. We're there to offer support. We're also there to help you, again, learn and understand everything about baby to make baby healthy, happy, and safe, from safe sleep to car seat safety, because most people don't know which car seat their baby needs or how to put them in the car, and it's not an easy task. But we'll help you learn how to do that. We want to empower the parent to take care of their baby and to help their baby learn and grow.
In other segments, and if you're a regular viewer of the show, you will have seen these segments. We talked about just that. We talked about proper car seats. We talked about breastfeeding. Today we're going to talk about this perinatal and postnatal depression. But if you want to look at any of these older shows, they certainly exist on our Facebook page, Real Florida Magazine, on our YouTube page, or on the website. But before we go any further, let's maybe decide that sometime in the near future you're going to come back on and again talk about some of those subjects that you've talked about in the past. Okay. Car seats being a big one. I would think that and I just recently was looking at Florida Highway Patrol statistics and having to do with seat belts and car seats, and it's amazing how many deaths could be prevented. So would you come back soon and talk about car seats?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that would be a good one. Today, though, we are, as I mentioned, talking about perinatal and postnatal depression. Where do we start?
Well, for us, we approach it just from a very neutral position. When you talk about perinatal depression, which is all of it from beginning before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and to the end, which includes postpartum depression, it's all under the umbrella of mental health. And we always want everybody to be the best possible mom and dad they possibly can be, but sometimes you may not be the best mom or dad you can be mentally, and you may not realize that. So we actually have curriculums in place, and we have trained every care coordinator to be able to deliver those curriculums to any woman who feels like she might need a little bit of help. If she's concerned, or even if she just has a question, we can help her with that. We can help her understand where she might be and then refer her on to the right physician if she does need a physician.
Much like going through puberty, I can't imagine, but being pregnant, you have so many chemical and physical changes going on in your body that has to translate to some mental changes as well, if nothing else than from the chemistry that's involved. So it makes sense that you would have mood swings, you would have what could be maybe considered clinical depression. We in the pre-show, we were talking briefly about this. You said that perinatal and postnatal depression, very, very common.
Yes, it's very common once you've had a baby, especially with postpartum depression, to experience some signs and symptoms. Again, you may be suffering from mild depression and not even know it while you are pregnant or before you even got pregnant. And it was so mild, somebody might have missed it. Or you thought, well, maybe this is just how I am. Well, if ever you have a question, that's what Healthy Start is here for. We actually can screen you for signs of depression. And again, we're not diagnosing you. But if anything pops up on that screen we might be concerned with, we're going to refer you on to a physician so he can or she can check you out and give you a thorough diagnosis. And if you need extreme help in terms of medication or anything like that, the doctor will be able to do that for you. But we are here in that first step with you to help you, really take a look and see what's going on in life. And if it's just stress, we can help you manage that stress. That's what our Mothers and Babies curriculum is for, is to help prevent anyone from possibly sinking into depression.
Guests on the show that have come from local hospitals, other healthcare providers, have kind of hammered on the fact that so much healthcare goes undone because of either a lack of insurance or ignorance on the part of the potential patient of whether their insurance will cover it or that they just simply can't afford health services and they don't have insurance. Is there a benefit if somebody were to go to you to become then referred elsewhere so that either their insurance would kick in or you could refer them to places that provide these services at no cost, for instance?
Well, that's the wonderful thing about Healthy Start. One of the many wonderful things is it's offered at no cost to anyone. We don't charge whatsoever for any of the services we provide. Again, if a mom had a question whether she wanted to know if she was feeling down and it was a sign of depression, or maybe she wanted to know if it was just stress or what was going on, or she just needed somebody to talk to, again, we can come in and provide that screening service for her. And then if it's severe and the mom does want to be referred on to a doctor, we can do that for her. And that way the doctor can know that it's coming from that trusted voice, which is Healthy Start. And the OBGYNs in our community do trust us. Other providers do trust us to know that we're going to do whatever it takes to be trained and knowledgeable so we can make sure to get women where they need to go medically.
Well, it makes sense that if your whole mission is children and the family unit and mothers and children in this case, that's who you're going to be dealing with. And again, who would see more of those kinds of problems or issues than somebody or some organization that deals with just that? Have you got a rough idea within your coalition or within even just this county that we sit today, Washington County, how many people are touched or treated or seen by Chipola Healthy Start? Any rough ideas?
No, and we are in definitely the thousands in terms of coalition-wide. We do serve as many women and children as possible, which is everybody. We never shut our doors. We never turn away. We do not have a capacity. We will take whoever, whenever, as long as they need help, and they can always self-refer. They don't have to wait for a screen. They can always just pick up the phone and call. That's what we mean by self-refer.
Right.
Just pick up the phone and call or stop by the office.
Take a moment and give that phone number now.
If you needed help locally here in Washington County, that number you would call the health department, which is 850-638-6240, Or if you have questions about any of the other counties, or if you live outside our area and need directions to a different Healthy Start, call our office in Marianna, the Coalition office. It's 850-482-1236. Or find us on the web at chipolahealthystart.org or on Facebook. I'm really good about answering inbox messages within an hour.
Where in Marianna is your headquarters?
Right there on Penn Avenue in Plaza del Rio.
You mentioned that. I beg your pardon. So can people walk in without an appointment?
Absolutely.
To any of your offices?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if they know where you're located, they can simply grab up their kids and come in and say, I need some help.
Absolutely. That's what we're there for. Again, we will never turn anyone away. But if you can, it's always best to call ahead to let us know you're coming, to make sure someone's going to be there, because if it's 4:30 on a Friday and our office closes at 5, we want to make sure we're able to serve you in the best capacity, or if you need another referral service to another office that closes at 5 o'clock on a Friday. We want to make sure to give you the time that you and your children need to help you as best we can.
So you said Lawton Childs and his wife were the ramrods behind Healthy Start. How long ago was that? Do you remember? Do you know what year
that was? About 25 years ago. That was maybe more. 1991, I think the statute was written. See, they had a micro-preemie grandbaby, and they saw firsthand how much time and effort and love and resources goes into that baby who's born too soon. And what they wanted to do was make a way for any woman in Florida and every child in Florida to not have to go through that.
Wow. Didn't know that. What a great story. One of those situations where someone who actually gets to experience the other side realizes that there's a need. In their case, they had the wherewithal, and in his position of influence was able to help bring that about. That's pretty strong stuff. What other services or what other issues dealing with women and children would you deal with on a regular basis in any of your coalition offices?
Oh, we do refer out a lot of times to make sure that women are actually signed up for health care and to sign up for health care insurance, because some people still do not have it. And it's important that you have the health care insurance to pay for the delivery of your child, and your child will get insurance as well. We also have a lot of questions, like you said, about car seats. Actually, September is National Car Seat Safety Awareness Month, and we do events in each of our counties during that month. There's a lot of talk about breastfeeding and breastfeeding education, because it's making a comeback. We also talk about milestones. A lot of parents don't understand what marks their children need to be hitting at certain ages, and if they're not hitting them, who they need to contact to help with that. Because sometimes children, they all develop differently, but sometimes they need a little extra help. And that's what we want to do. We want to be that person, that voice that gives you that extra help and that extra push, so you never feel lost and you always know who you can talk to and to contact if you have a question.
Every year, just about this time, getting ready for back to school, the Northwest Florida Community Hospital campus is filled with nonprofits and local businesses who are giving out back to school supplies. It seems like every year parents and students are required to furnish more and more of their school supplies, whether it's pencils and pens or crayons or chalk and paper and notebooks, backpacks certainly. Are you guys involved in that event? Aren't you?
Absolutely. We're there every year. You always just look for the big pink tent, and that's usually me.
Yeah. What is it that you're going to be doing this year?
I think we have earbuds and hand sanitizer for everyone who needs it.
Earbuds?
Yeah.
Wow.
Some schools are actually requiring them, maybe not in Washington County, because I haven't gotten my school list for my child here, but I know in other counties they're requiring earbuds for each child to have, earphones.
Yeah.
So
you plug those into the device provided by the school, and that way you've got your own pair that are sanitary, or at least they don't have to be worn by multiple people.
Yep, and we cut down on ear infections, nobody's sharing anything. You know, it's better for everyone if they have their own individual pair. Yeah,
very cool. You know, if you're going on a plane trip, the airlines charge at least $5 for earbuds, so it's at least a $5 value. The Northwest Florida Community Hospital has really gone through a metamorphosis with that event. In the early days, and I think we're in maybe the 10th year of that event, something like that maybe, but in the early days, it was sort of a free-for-all. Everybody was there. The local banks and credit unions cooked and provided water and drinks, and we had the local food bank there that was giving out food in at least a couple of occasions, and then everybody was giving out the school supplies. We had Department of Transportation giving out bicycle helmets and safety vests, people such as yourself. And it was really a free-for-all. It was really terrible, and we had situations where, unfortunately, some will misuse the system. People were coming back a second and a third time.
Yeah.
So now they make them register, so they have to queue up, line up at the beginning, and they show up an hour and a half prior to the start. I know it starts at 9 o'clock on Thursday the 27th this year, August 27th, but they make them queue up and register, and then you get a book of tickets, and so you have to give tickets to each of the vendors. Have you been around long enough to recognize if there's a value in doing it that way?
Yes, I think that happened last year with the tickets, and everybody did have to come around and give a ticket at each station to get their school supplies, and that worked very, very well. Everybody was very orderly, everybody was very nice and cooperative, and everybody had what they need by the time they left to start school.
Yeah, we didn't set out to talk about this necessarily in the interview, but this is something, if you're a viewer of the show and you're watching this now because it's only 2 days from now, it's a huge event. It's saving parents literally piles of money when you come right down to it, because I know the Chipley Kiwanis Club gives out spiral-bound notebooks and pencils, and if you walk around, there's literally everything that's required if you're in the public school system.
Even backpacks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, local attorney Greg Wilson, last year, I think, for the first time, I think he's going to do it again this year, was on his own nickel, and he wasn't doing it on behalf of a nonprofit organization. He took his own money, went to Walmart and bought a bunch of them, and it's just a great opportunity to see that giving spirit of the community, and an opportunity for children to be better prepared. Florida Panhandle Technical College for years has been giving free, I was going to say headaches, haircuts at that event. So it's a great opportunity to save some money. There's free food. The hospital has a great opportunity to showcase their campus and facility. I know the Eye Center of North Florida gives hearing tests, and the school is now this year offering back-to-school inoculations, whichever ones those are. So again, if not saving money, at least you're saving a lot of aggravation having to go to multiple places for all of these different things.
Yes, and you get to meet all of the different agencies in case you need help. The health department's there, Healthy Start is there, Gulf Coast Sexual Assault Program, SWAT, every other agency you can think of, local faith-based partners. Everyone is there to get to know you and you to get to know them.
And I'm glad you say that, and it segues into what I wanted to talk about next, which is that awareness. We're talking about back to school at the Northwest Florida Community Hospital campus in this case, and the opportunity for you, in your case, Chipola Healthy Start, to be able to put a brochure or some information into people's hands to talk to them one-on-one. But more importantly, I want to talk about your awareness campaign throughout the year. What do you guys do? You mentioned you had a Facebook page, you've got a website. I would imagine that you attend other events besides this one at the hospital for the back to school in order to, again, to promulgate that information about Chipola Healthy Start. What do you guys do in the course of the year for that awareness?
Throughout the year, we focus on different topics each month. For example, we're in the month of July, so we're focused on Group B strep, which every woman has.
And what is that?
It's just a bacteria. It grows in your body. Everybody has it. It's not nasty. It's not anything negative, but some people think it is. But the important thing is you are meant to be tested during your pregnancy. If you are shown positive, they need to treat it, because if it goes untreated, it can lead to miscarriage, stillbirth, or actually, if it's passed to the baby from mom, the baby will most likely die. And we don't want that to happen. That's not what Healthy Start's mission is. So that's why we focus on that topic this month. August, we'll focus on breastfeeding. September, we focus on car passenger safety. October is infant and pregnancy awareness, loss awareness. And they keep going and going and changing throughout the year. And I'm always at health fairs. I'm at all of the back-to-school events in our area. I am at meetings. I am at county offices. I am everywhere you can think of Healthy Start might need to be, which is everywhere. Food banks, food giveaways, you name it, we're there just promoting ourselves and making sure everyone knows who we are and what we do have to offer, and letting them feel comfortable in coming to us with their needs.
I think the last time I saw you guys was at the Panhandle Watermelon Festival. You were next to the kids' activities. You had the big blow-up slides and all that. It was hot. You guys had a tent, so you were trying to stay cool. Did you have good results at that event as far as getting the word out and dealing one-on-one with people?
Absolutely. I think that evening we saw over 100 people, because we were there before the concert. We were there like at 4 o'clock, and there weren't that many people there, but by the end, and we stopped right before the concert, there were at least 100, 150 people that came over just to say hi and to ask us who we were and what we did. And some people who already knew us just to say hi in general.
Those are great opportunities. You guys need people. Those events have lots of people. Obviously, some of those people either don't have a need for your services or are not in the mood to talk about those services. They're there for other purposes. But simply by being there, especially adjacent to the kids' activities, you get moms and dads and kids walking by you. Great opportunity. I mean, it's a no-brainer, it seems like. Do you have good response recycling those people back for your services after the fact, or do you have a way to measure that?
Oh, no, they actually do come back to see us. I mean, you get to know people once you see them, or at least I do once I get to know them, because I get to get all the success stories and write up all those. You know, you really start to build a relationship with every mom and dad and every baby that you touch and are able to serve. And they keep coming back, and they refer their friends, and they refer their family. And again, you may not think you have a need for it, but somebody you know needs Healthy Start at some point.
I dare say there's anybody that wouldn't be able to avail themselves of something that you provide. When you start doing a laundry list of what you guys deal with, if you've got kids, there's somewhere in that mix, you've got an opportunity to avail yourself of those services.
And not just that, grandparents. We find sometimes grandparents wind up having to take care of their grandchildren more often than not, or foster families. We can serve and will serve anyone with those children from 0 to age 3. Once you hit age 3, we're going to refer you on to the services that you need in the agency that you need.
Melissa, thanks for taking the time today. Come back maybe next month. I know you guys generally have a focus for your services each month that changes on a regular basis. You haven't been here in a while. Plan on coming back more often.
Absolutely.
This is good stuff, and I think you'll find that our viewership are made up of exactly those people that you see every day anyway. We find that most of the people are watching our product on their smart device. And those people that you deal with every day when they're sitting in your waiting room, I probably can guarantee that every one of them is sitting there on their phone. What better opportunity? Make sure you keep us apprised of any events that you have coming up. Even if we don't or are not going to attend that event, we certainly can let people know that you'll be there, and hopefully increase that user base for your product. But thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Paul.
Our guest today has been Melisa Reddick from Chipola Healthy Start. Today talking about perinatal and postpartum depression. As you heard Melissa describe, a great opportunity. If you are pregnant, if you're already had your baby, stop by. Find out if there's something that Chipola Healthy Start can help you with. Whether or not you have insurance, the greatest part was that all of their services are completely at no charge to you, the consumer. So great opportunity, and shame on you if you don't take advantage of some of these services offered by Chipola Healthy Start. We'll be right back.